My original top 10 video was released about 8 months ago, but so many amazing games have come out since then. Here's my top 10 VR games for fall 2018. Number 10. In Jet Island, you're coasting on a surfing hoverboard. Both of your hands have powerful jetpacks to propel you, as well as grappling hooks. That might sound like an odd combination of powers, but they work together surprisingly well. It's like you're the Silver Surfer playing inside Windlands. The island itself is absolutely massive. The scope and scale of the terrain I found really impressive. Everywhere you go, there are interesting valleys, ramps, and buildings to climb or jump off of, as well as well-placed speed boosters. Throughout the island, there are flying drones. For every drone you destroy, you get a permanent ability upgrade, like faster fuel refills. There are pretty epic boss fights in the game as well. I'm looking forward to eventually facing off against the giant serpent in the sky. I think one thing they especially nailed was the music. It's zen and dreamlike. It's a perfect mood for just surfing and flying for hours on end. I enjoyed playing this for its zen flying and exploring elements, but the drone and boss fights add a little bit of excitement as well. I think the big appeal of this is the movement system, similar to the fun had in Windlands. And if you enjoyed Windlands, then I think you'll definitely enjoy this.
Welcome back! I've had the archive send up some virtual labor access points for you to practice with.
In virtual reality, artificial intelligence is reigning supreme, and humans are supposed to entertain and serve the AI overlords.
Between you and me, this one is my favorite. I'd jump in and take this client myself, if that wasn't unseemly.
Yeehaw!
At the beginning of the game, you'll be guided on how to transport between VR worlds to help serve different AI personalities. But it essentially boils down to putting on and taking off different headsets. Later in the game, you'll go many layers deep, and when you're pulled out of several layers at once, it's a pretty cool experience.
Whoa, okay. That was not part of our standard training protocol.
The writing and storytelling in this game are exceptional. These days, I feel like I've seen it all in VR games. But the story and gameplay here really surprised me. It's very funny and incredibly refreshing.
Globules. Doesn't that just tease the tongue? It's quite indulgent. Indulge me for a bit. I want to see your limits. Ah, very crunchy, crisp.
It sounds cliche, but this game is truly unique. You haven't seen anything like it before. After you progress into the story, you'll go through some trippy and reality-altering experiences. I don't want to spoil them, but rest assured this game gets pretty deep. It's much more than just a series of minigames. If you're a VR veteran, or if you feel like there's nothing new to experience, then I highly recommend it.
In this scenario, I would please play the role I hired you for. Anyways, part of Leslie, a young female who has invited her schoolmate, that's you, home for a family dinner.
We're home! Dad's making a casserole tonight. Let's go upstairs to play some computer sports.
Number 8. In Death is a bow and arrow dungeon crawler set in the afterlife. It features a unique movement system that allows you to teleport either by firing a special arrow at the ground, or, using your other hand, tossing a teleport shard. There is a setting for sliding locomotion as well. Your only weapon is a bow and arrow, but you'll gain specialty arrows as you progress. For blocking attacks, you can quickly activate your shield with your bow hand by holding down trigger. After you release the trigger, your bow returns. Each time you play, the levels are procedurally generated, so you'll never play the same level twice. The overall design is beautiful. The level architecture is a giant cathedral with Gregorian chant music to match. And speaking of audio, the sound design is also very well done. The game doesn't blast you with constant audio. You can listen in and hear if an enemy is around the corner, or if an arrow narrowly misses you. The whole experience is exceptionally well polished and challenging. If you're looking for a fresh, new bow and arrow dungeon crawler, then I recommend it. Number 7. The Talos Principle VR came out a year ago, and I finally got around to playing it. I've never played the original flat-screen version of this game, and even though this is a VR port, the vast majority of the game feels like it was made for VR. The way you use your hands to grab objects or make keyboard selections feels natural. It's a very good VR port. And since this was originally a flat-screen game, it has the advantage of being a vast game with lots of content. It's the ultimate puzzle lover's dream come true. I'm not even close to finishing it, but I understand it to be upwards of 20 plus hours of gameplay. It's a Zen puzzle game where you play at your own pace with a fascinating narrative that asks deep philosophical questions.
The guardians of this land may harm you, but do not resent them. For they are my servants, and they challenge you only so that your faith might be strengthened.
The puzzles are first-person mazes with new game mechanics changing to keep it fresh. At the end of each mini-maze puzzle, you get a Tetris piece.
My temple awaits you, child. Go forth.
Collect enough of them to unlock new areas and also unlock new tools at your disposal. To my knowledge, this is the biggest puzzle game in VR right now. So if you're a puzzle fan, then I think this will entertain you for a very long time. Number 6. The Gallery Episode 2, Heart of the Emberstone, almost made it on my original top 10 list, but looking back, it deserves to be in the top 10. So with Episode 2 in the name, it's obviously a sequel, but Part 1 isn't required. This game stands on its own. This game at number 6 is an interesting juxtaposition with number 7, because the previous game is a super long game that was ported to VR, whereas this is a shorter game built from the ground up for VR. You'll beat it in about 3 hours, but everything about this game is so perfectly tailored for motion controllers and a sense of immersion. It's a science fiction adventure inspired by classic 80s fantasy, like the Labyrinth and Dark Crystal movies. Almost everywhere you go in the game, you'll encounter a new type of puzzle or a new superpower at your disposal. Throughout your journey, you'll encounter holographic reprojections of the past, primarily from your sister that has gone before you, but also from characters long ago that once lived in this world.
She was a complicated woman, but deep down,
don't do that!
There's even more story to be found in the books and tablets that you'll find in almost every room. This is a fantastic adventure, with a great sense of humor as well as epic jaw-dropping moments.
You're the transport? This time
Number 5. Budget Cuts was one of the most anticipated and hyped up VR games to date. The original demo was really impressive and stood out among the early VR games. After 2 years of waiting, the full game was finally released this year. After waiting that long, I think some people had unrealistically high expectations for this game. As for me, I'm really pleased with it, and I think it's a lot of fun.
Hello, human. I am very
It's a stealth-based robot assassination game. Make your way through the office, avoiding detection from the bots, killing them with throwing knives before they can get to you. One of my favorite things about the game is the portal teleportation. Fire a teleporting orb to where you want to move, and then you get a portal preview from that location to see if it's safe or not. You can then teleport there or try again somewhere else. The stealth mechanics in combat are both top-notch. Trying to remain stealthy and taking out the bots before they spot you is incredibly engaging. This is one of the best stealth VR games out there. Both the portal traveling and throwing knife combat are tremendous examples of the unique fun that room-scale VR can provide. It's fantastic.
Military response advised. Report any lifelike behavior to Angel.
Number 4. Apex Construct is a unique VR game. It's a composite of gaming elements that you've seen before, but it's an experience that's greater than the sum of its parts. The core gameplay consists of archery combat and puzzle exploration. I was surprised by how fresh the archery combat felt. At first, the archery is simple, but it quickly gets more strategic. For example, you'll eventually face off against bots that have shields and can teleport to dodge your fire, but only a special arrow will take down their shields, and then you'll have a very limited window to switch your arrows and destroy the bot before the shield comes back. All while avoiding their attacks and looking out for other bots that may appear from behind you. The puzzle exploration elements are pretty straightforward. Most of the time you'll be looking for codes and passwords to unlock new areas to explore, and often you'll need to use old-school DOS commands on computers to get new information. There's a fair amount of voice narration as well. Your main guide sounds like Batman, so you may or may not find him annoying.
She is getting closer and closer to our safe house. It is the only place where I can keep you safe. So we need to stop her.
There's a million archery-based VR games out there, and just like the previously mentioned In Death, Apex Construct stands out as one of the best archery games.
They are uncomfortably close to our base. Take them out quickly and return home. There is much to do, and too little time.
Number 3. It's pretty rare that a game is both instantly playable to newcomers in VR, as well as continually fun no matter how long you play it. Beat Saber is one of those rare games. It's a simple concept, using lightsabers in a rhythm game, but playing this is so incredibly satisfying. It delivers on its promise in spades. Currently, the game has a list of built-in custom songs that you slice the rhythm to. I know there are ways to install custom songs in here. I haven't felt the need to do that myself, but if you want to, there are many guides online for how to do that. Your left hand holds the red saber and your right hand holds the blue saber, and obviously you need to match those colors with the corresponding cubes. The default play mode has arrows on the cubes, so you need to slice them the proper way. But if you want more freedom in your swings, there is a no arrows play mode, and that's really nice for when you just want to up the difficulty and go nuts. This is the only rhythm matching game I continue to play over and over again. It's so satisfying to play this. Super fun. Number 2. Moss is a miniature platforming fairy tale adventure. You control a mouse named Quill, but you yourself are actually involved in the game as well. You need to physically arrange and manipulate objects with your hands throughout the game. And you're also included in the story as it progresses. Right out of the gate, I have to say that every element of this game is platinum grade. The writing, the character animation, the environments, the sound design, the voice acting, everything. The attention to detail the developers gave to this game is astounding, and in my opinion, it lacks nothing. It's one of the most polished games I've ever played, and it's certainly the best platformer. My wife and I have very different tastes in games, but we both equally love Moss. That's a big testament to the wide appeal this game has. I got over 3 hours of gameplay out of this, and even though I received this for free to review, I would happily pay full price for this game. It's head and shoulders above the majority of games out there. Can you tell that I like this game? Because I really do. I have a full Let's Play of this on my channel if you're interested in the story of this game. I hope the developer of this continues to make more VR games, because this is something really special. Before getting to number 1, here's 2 honorable mentions that are in early access. Unknightly is a stealth assassination game. The stealth mechanics rely on both being silent and not being seen. If you begin to make too much noise by moving too fast, you'll see a blue indicator. If you get too close to a light source, you'll see a yellow indicator. On your right arm is a blade that you can summon to take out the guards. But after you kill them, you need to hide them in a dark corner because if any of the other guards see a dead body, they'll be extra vigilant in finding you. Besides your assassination blade, you also have archery at your disposal with 3 different arrows. Look above you to grab your bow and select the arrow you need. Blue arrows temporarily extinguish fire. Red arrows are for killing. Yellow arrows stick to surfaces and make noise to distract the guards.
Anybody there?
Each arrow is very limited in supply, so you need to be selective with each of them. Another essential thing is climbing. Sometimes you need to climb to avoid guards or get around a busy area. But even while climbing, you need to stay quiet and avoid the light. For a challenging medieval stealth game, it's the only one of its kind.
Is someone there?
NeverBound is an underrated hidden gem that I'm surprised isn't more popular. It's a fascinating mix of gravity puzzles and action. Gravity is relative here, as you can change where you're standing and which way gravity pulls you. The visual aesthetics and puzzle mechanics feel a lot like Portal, while the action feels like Halo. In my opinion, this is one of the most original and unique shooter games. The game is still in early access, but this is the most polished early access game I've ever seen. It feels like a finished game. Currently, there's 3 campaign levels and 2 bonus modes, Bipolarity and Blitz. Bipolarity is basically a survival arena. In Blitz mode, you need to escort a robot through a complex, but the robot runs on batteries that quickly deplete, so you need to find new ones or recharge them at stations to keep the robot running along. I found Blitz mode to be quite challenging. Fending off bad guys while switching gravity to search for batteries required all of my brain and engagement. I do wish there was more levels in the campaign, but the developer is updating this game pretty frequently, so more campaign levels should be around the corner. In the meantime, the 2 bonus modes provide a lot of play. If you're looking for a fresh, original action game, then I highly recommend it. And number 1, Skyrim VR. In my original top 10, Fallout 4 VR was the number 1 game, and Skyrim VR wasn't available yet. I greatly enjoyed Fallout 4 VR, but as it turns out, that was the warm-up. Skyrim is the main event.
How can I serve you, Fury?
I feel incredibly fortunate that I've never played Skyrim before. Playing it in VR was my first time. I'm 7 years late to the Skyrim party, so there isn't much more to be said that hasn't been said by pretty much everyone else on the planet. But I do have a few thoughts.
Make it quick, I'm a busy man.
I enjoyed Fallout 4 for its vast open world and depth of gameplay, but the apocalyptic wasteland isn't a place I want to live in for very long. Skyrim, however, is a beautiful place that I love to escape to. I spend almost all of my free time just wandering, taking in the scenery and talking to characters.
It's my mill. Some folks thinks it's my town too, but it ain't. The Jarl in Whiterun owns the land and the town. I just pay the taxes.
I love dwelling in here, but going on exciting adventures is pretty great too. Casting magic with your hands and witnessing dragon fights above you in the sky is an incredible experience. Oh yeah! He did come. Cool. Another thing that really astounds me is the modding community. After finishing the main story, all of the DLC, and visiting every town I could find, I'm now enjoying the giant mods that add new continents and quests to play. And with new mods being released even today, I think this game is actually endless. Even if you've played this before on flat screen, if you're a fan of RPGs or adventure games, you simply have to try this in room-scale VR at least once. Nothing immerses me or fills my imagination more than this does.
Look at this place. No one's been here in centuries. I doubt there's any other place like it in Skyrim. It's beautiful.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Well, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe. See ya!